So everybody knows about what is Gen AI. There is buzz. Everybody is doing certifications. We get to see on LinkedIn. Everybody wants to know about it. So there is a lot of awareness about it, but we really need to understand how this is going to impact the real work. So Chathusha, great to see you in Colombo. Right, I know you're flying tomorrow. So I just want to ask you the question that I just posted, right? So how everybody knows about it. Just imagine that everybody knows about Gen AI, what the capabilities and all those things. How this is going to impact. Let's look at the IT industry, particularly the traditional jobs that in the IT industry that we have.
Right. First of all, thank you for having me, Sampath. If you look at, like, everybody says that it's going to be revolutionary. People have heard that a million times, but very few kind of understand how it's going to transform the entire IT industry and the way we work as well, right? First of all, I should say that we are still in kind of like a hype phase, right? Along with the ChatGPT, a lot of people got to know about AI. They are thrilled and inspired and consider it to be a miracle. But again, we are in a hype phase. This is going to kind of come down a little bit, stabilize until we properly get things set up in enterprises at enterprise scale, right? So that's already in the process of happening. Second, coming to your question, how it will transform the IT industry. The role of a traditional developer, right, if you take like now, is basically you give the spec and the person is able to do a good job at implementing it, right? Take a junior to mediocre level experience scale. That implementation part is going to be automated. You all know that it can generate code, it can give you answers and help you with implementation, of course varying accuracy levels, but still in the future that part will be automated. So the role of a developer is not to implement the spec, but the role of a developer will be to solve the problem. What is needed for this particular product? What should be the features? How should these features work? Right? How do I solve the problem is going to be the primary focus of all the developers and technology people. Right? Whereas implementing it is going to be very easy moving forward. Right? The whole paradigm shift is the way we interact with computers. The human-computer interaction has changed. Right? You don't need those languages per se. You can actually get things done, give instructions using natural language. That is basically the paradigm shift.
Okay.
Right. So more focus on how you solve the problem, what should be the features, how the features should work, etc. should be the focus, and not really the implementation part.
Okay, great. So still I saw it is more on a broad scale what needs to be done. Now we'll say I am an experienced programmer, software engineer, right? I've been involved in coding, and as you said, the usual traditional way of doing the job. Now you say that this is going to transform. So if you say 1, 2, 3, these are the first thing that I need to do, second thing, third thing, like steps, right? In very briefly. Okay, this is the first thing that I need to do. You probably know about all these things, right? The awareness piece of it. Now, what is the next thing that I need to do? Probably, I need to start coding in this Copilot or something, right? So like that, what type of 1, 2, 3, 4 steps that you can give?
So awareness, as you said, number one, dominates everything. You need to know what's happening in the world, what are the new technologies coming in, etc. So since that's anyway known, I'll park it for now. The second is, if you're already experienced, you know the value of getting your hands dirty, right? Doing the real implementation. So if you look at a lot of these models, there are publicly available, free of charge models, and there are some models which come to you at a very minimum cost, right? So you can start exploring this. So number one is, with the learning that you have, start implementing, right? Learn the prompt engineering piece. How do you interact with these models? How do you generate the optimum code? How do you get it to correct the code that you have already generated? How you get it to interpret the code, not just the coding piece, right? But the entire solution part of it is getting your hands dirty dominates everything, right? Because then you become conversant. You feel the challenges, you know where it works, what doesn't work, right? And these models also differ from kind of like personalities. The way you interact with one model will be different to the way you do it with another, right? Getting that understanding and experience kind of changes the paradigm. And then The third point is naturally you don't become afraid of the model.
Okay.
You become part of the change. You don't tend to run away from the change, which is the most important mindset change.
So you spoke about the prompt engineering, because it also takes some time, right, for you to kind of really come up with that prompt and kind of enter. So is there any resources that already that is available out there where you have the very common, frequently used prompts kind of thing that are people can quickly go and dip in and get some idea? Have you come across some?
Definitely. So depending on the extent to which you want to get to know the technical details, there are so many publicly available free of charge documentation, starting from OpenAI to Google, and Google has free kind of courses on this as well. There are many other courses which are free as well.
Right.
So what requires is your passion and enthusiasm to go search and learn, where a lot of the materials are freely available right now.
Okay. So I want to move away from the IT, right? So and now this is going to transform the other industries as well. So I've been speaking to some universities, particularly certain degree programs, departments, and they are also thinking, how does this going to impact the economists, the researchers, maybe the teachers and things like that. So I know we cannot crack all these tracks in one general question, but generally speaking, what is your view, how it is going to impact the rest of the other business apart from IT?
Right. Let me correct the initial answer I gave you. Right. So you focus on solving the problem. You can be an economist, a teacher, a doctor, or whoever. When you have a problem, you start interacting with these models using natural language. What you bring to the table is domain knowledge.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
And implementation of it, gathering knowledge, mining knowledge, right? The search engine paradigm has changed. So you can easily go and do searches and get results quite fast, right? Efficiently. And if you want to implement a small app, let's say you're a teacher, you want to bring an aid, make a PPT or a simulating environment to bring to the classroom. So you focus on solving the problem, whereas it will be very easy for you to get it implemented, right? Because all you need is natural language. So this is applicable in all different scales, where you bring the domain knowledge, you think of how you want to solve the problem, then the solving piece, the implementation, is basically automated going forward.
All right. So my third question, and probably the last question, because it's going to be a short video, is that a lot of people are, this is something to do with different way that we look at things, right? For example, they all say all these models are being done by these high-tech companies like OpenAI, maybe Meta, or Google, and Microsoft. These big guys are involved, right? Now, if we started piggybacking on these models, right, and because it is very difficult to train, costly, and all those stuff. So are we going to kind of lose that edge, and they're going to be like again a modern way of colonizing kind of thing, right? This question's been asked multiple times. It seems like that we are going to anyway use all our apps, everything, we're going to consume that, right? So that's one part of it. Probably the answer is yes. Second is there any possibility for us to start developing, not probably large language models, but maybe small language models, and start playing around, so we have our own country-specific proprietary kind of model. Is there a possibility for that? Maybe there are a lot of kind of startups and individual developers who are thinking about this.
Right. Good question. The first part, even if you take right now, if you want to search for something, where do you go and do it? You do it on Google, right? The products we use on a day-to-day basis are still owned by some of these large companies.
Except in China, use Baidu. They don't want to use Google.
And even then, they use Baidu, right? It's not. They might have a couple of, so many different options, but the most widely used option is just one. It's anyway the case, right? In day-to-day products we use, even in development, other technical products too, what we use on a day-to-day basis. To message somebody, to find the route to a nearest place, etc. The other aspect of that problem is, yes, it's concentrated because of the resource requirement, technology and the resource requirement. But as people, you're not expected to develop your own model As companies, you're not expected to develop your own model.
Mm.
Your business is your business. Your focus should be how you solve the problem using what's being built out there.
Mm.
How do you take something out of the box using prompt engineering and use it to make your process efficient? How do you take something pre-trained and maybe fine-tune and then use it to make your own life easy, right?
Okay.
Your own business proposition. So it's all about how you use these things to do your business very efficiently and effectively.
Right.
Number one. Coming to number two, I'll split it into two parts.
Mm.
Right. Second question. Number one, definitely yes, getting like that becomes machine learning, right? There are a lot of models that you can train, you can work on the laptop. That's anyway how you gain that fundamental knowledge on how machine learning works.
Mm.
When you develop even basic things from logistic regression up to maybe a deep neural network, you learn how it works. So that helps you to solve a complex problem, right? So there are a lot of things you can do, right? You understand how they work, so that knowledge can be used to solve a complex problem using a complex model, right?
Sure.
So you should do that, number one. The other part is, should we as a country have proprietary models for language, etc.? Personally, it's a debatable topic, but personally, I'm not a very big fan of, trying to do everything just because it's ours, or we can say it's a model developed by Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
Not necessary. But if we, let's say, don't see the current level of performance in these models in singular language, right? Let's say Tamil or whatever, then yes, then there's a economical reason for us to go and invest and do it. But if not, we should not be developing models
Absolutely.
in English, right? It all boils down to economics. How do you want to solve the problem? Is it worth solving? It's not about the pride. We are all a connected world, globalized world. How do we use these resources to get things done very effectively? Because that piece is a lot of engineering. Building the model is a big task, a daunting task, but at the same time, utilizing it to solve your problem is also a daunting piece of engineering.
Yes, yes. And that is also one of the ethical questions they're asking, right? Not use this technology for to destructive purposes, and also to make sure these developments belongs to the humanity than to a one single person or something. I mean, these are some of the bigger questions that is being argued at high levels, right?
That's a very widely spoken.
Anyway, thank you so much. Thank you very much for spending time. I know you need to now pack your bags and go back. Thanks so much, and let's meet up again, and we'll try to connect you to our upskilling, reskilling programs, and not only for the company but also for our universities and the entire ecosystem as well, because this is something that we think we definitely need to contribute to the next gen, right? Thanks again.
Definitely. It's all mine.
No problem.
Thank you.